Let's get started. Um, yeah, I have a block. So this week I was admitted I had a lot going on this week, so I wasn't putting a ton of effort into planning this class.
Thanks.
However, this just came to me the other day, and I was noticing the weeds in my garden, and there's one particular one that's really rampant this year, and I call it a buckwheat, but it probably has some other name, but it spirals. It's like a twining, and it twines around anything. Bindweed. No, it's not bindweed, because bindweed is sticky. I know bindweed. But anyway, it twirls, and it looks kind of nice. It's got a leaf almost like a morning glory, but I've got it everywhere, and it's twining around everything. And I was thinking about how, there's that saying that our outer world is also our inner world, and that we reflect, our inner body reflects everything in nature. And so there is a fascia line that spirals our body on the inside. It starts from the inside of our arch and travels up the front of the shin and around, and then crosses over on our back and ends just behind our ear at the base of the skull. So it basically, like that buckwheat vine, whatever it is, it twirls around us. And so we're going to work with those lines through some twists in our practice today. So good to have blocks, because we're going to do revolved triangle, which is always good, and also revolved half moon, which is always good to have blocks for that. So, and then be calling awareness to that line from the arch and all the way up here as we're in those twists, because those fascia lines really get worked in those twists, particularly those two, revolved triangle and revolved half moon. So let's just start by connecting with breath. You can close your eyes, and let's set an intention today for how you want to feel. Whatever that is for you today, whether it's energized or relaxed or calm or peaceful, whatever it might be for you. And as you inhale, let the awareness descend into the belly. And as you exhale, allow everything to settle on the inside, very much as what we have done last week. And then your next inhale, let your awareness settle into your foundation and down into the earth. And as you exhale, let the exhale settle the mind into the rhythm of the breath. And we'll inspire our energy from the inside out, and keeping in mind those spiral lines within our body that are also out in nature, in the vining plants, in the shapes of a snail shell, that twirling, spiraling, present outside and in. So have 3 more breaths here like this. Inhaling down into the belly and all the way into your foundation, allowing the exhale to help you settle your inner landscape. And on your next breath, you can open your eyes, make your way onto hands and knees. And I'm actually going to utilize quite a few of the things that we did last week. Ben, you were here, but I don't think you were, right, Tim? You weren't here last week, were you? Okay. All right, so let's just start with a few rounds of regular cat-cow. Inhaling, opening the front body and the front of the spine, drawing the heart forward. And as we exhale, let's curl the toes under and open the back of the spine and let the head drop. Let's just do 3 rounds like that. Moving with your breath. Awareness into the sensations. And as you complete that third breath, we're going to do that extended cat-cow that we did last week. I really liked how that felt. So take your right arm, have your hand slightly ahead of your shoulders. Your right hand, reach it out behind you with your palm facing up. So really reaching, keeping the belly contained, connecting with our core, and staying lifted through that left shoulder. And keep reaching long. And then as you inhale, bring your arm out to the side with your thumb pointing up. So rotating the palm so it's facing forward. And still lifted and core engaged. And then on your next inhale, reach that arm straight out in front of you, palm facing your midline. And then go ahead and extend left leg straight out behind you. So just taking a moment here to inhale and lengthen. And then 3 rounds, exhale, knee to nose. Curl the spine up. Inhale to lengthen, keeping lifted through that left shoulder. Exhale, curl it in. Moving with the rhythm of your own breath. And as you complete fully the exhale on this last breath, release knee and hand down to the mat. Let's move into our second side. So grounding through the right hand, lifted through the right shoulder, extend the left hand palm up to the sky, out behind you. And really reaching to lengthen and rolling that left shoulder back. So you're reaching back, but you're not closed through that left shoulder. On your next inhale, arm out to the side, thumb up. So rotating the arm as you bring it to the side. And then your next inhale, reaching straight ahead, palm facing midline. And then go ahead, extend right leg straight out behind. Stay for a breath as we lengthen and lift through that right shoulder. And then exhale, knee to elbow. 2 more breaths like that with your own rhythm of your own breath. And again, on this last breath, as you complete your exhale fully, you can release hand and knee down to the mat. And then shift back to child's pose. Give your wrist a little break. And if you want to roll your wrist while you're in child's pose, you can do that as well. And just taking a few breaths here, allowing the breath to get into the hips and the low back as you move into child's pose. Let's have one more breath in child's pose. And then we rise up, coming into your tabletop. Take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we're just going to hover the knees. So just lifting the knees so your toes are curled under. And engage through your core, lift up through the shoulders. And then release down. We're going to do that again, but we're going to change it up a little bit. So lift the knees and hover again. Engage through the shoulders and through the core. And then we're going to lift the right foot and just hover that right foot. So you're only on the left. And then just pressing that right foot up, we're moving into 3-legged dog. And you can be up high on your left toes, or you might begin to sink into your heel, depending how tight the calf and hamstrings are. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, draw your knee to your nose. And bring both knees down to the mat. If you need to give your wrist a little break before we do second side, you can roll your wrists a little bit, come into child's pose, and then we'll move into our second side. So toes curled under, hover both knees, and then wade into the right foot, hover that left foot, both knees are still bent, and then press up into 3-legged dog without bringing that left foot down. And take a couple breaths, just elongating through the left leg, through the spine,
And also opening the back of that right leg. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, knee to nose. This time we're going to step that left foot up between the hands. Follow through with the right foot. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to bow. And inhale to rise up. And draw through your heart center, coming into mountain pose. So let's take a moment to find those spiral lines within our body, bringing our awareness to the inside of that left foot, the arch on the left foot. And with your mind's eye, just travel up the front of the shin, out to the side of that left leg, across your pelvis on the back, and all the way up to the base of your skull on the right. And then let's do the same on the right side. So starting at the inside of the arch, spiraling up the front and side of the shin, across the back of the pelvis, diagonally across the back to the base of the left ear and the base of the left side of the skull. And so we're going to move through some sun salutations and then come back to those lines as we move into our twist. So inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, we bow. Inhale, heart lifts. And exhale, let's step the right foot to the back of the mat. And coming into our lunge position. Taking an inhale here and exhale into reverse lunge, lifting that left foot and bringing your awareness to, as the things get a little tighter in that left foot, that left arch, and across the front of that shin and across the back of the pelvis up to the right ear. And then inhale forward. Let's drop the back knee and inhale up to the sky. And if you want, hands can be together or hands wide for more space in your shoulders. Lifting the heart. And then exhale, hands come down to the mat and step back, downward facing dog. So we can still bring awareness into that line, that spiral line in downward facing dog by bringing awareness into the arches and imagining that crisscross across the back of the pelvis and the diagonal lines across our upper back as we lengthen through our spine. Let's inhale and come forward to plank pose. And exhale, lower down however you wish to lower down, coming all the way down to the belly, knees, chin, chest, chaturanga, whatever works for you today. And 3 times into cobra, inhale, rising up. And exhaling to come down. 2 more breaths like that. And 1 last breath. Exhale to come down. Let's press up and back into downward facing dog. And then inhale, right leg up to the sky in 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it up between your hands, coming into lunge on our second side. Inhale to lengthen forward. Exhale, reverse lunge. Bring your awareness to that right arch as you press back into reverse lunge, lifting the toes and noticing all the sensations. Maybe you can even feel that spiral line from that left arch, wrapping around, creating that diagonal across the back. And then inhale, coming forward. Exhale, drop the back knee. And inhale, reach up to the sky. Again, you can lift through the heart center, invite that back bend. Bring your awareness to that right arch and see if you can lift that right arch even though you're keeping the foot pressing down. And then exhale, hands come down. Lift the back knee and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow down. And the inhale, we rise up. And draw into the heart center. Let's continue on. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bow. See if you can stay lifted through your arches in both feet as you inhale, lift the heart. And let's exhale and step left foot back this time. Drop the back knee and inhale, reach up to the sky. Pausing here for a breath. Take one more inhale and exhale, bring the right hand to the knee. Inhale, lengthen up through that left and side bend over to the right. So keep lengthening up through that left side. Taking one more breath. And then coming back to center. Bring both hands to your heart center. And inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, twist towards that right knee. And you can have hands at a heart center. You guys are both at heart center, so we're just going to use that one instruction. Everybody's there. And twist through the belly. Now see if you can bring awareness into that right arch. And wrap around with your mind through the front and side of the calf, all the way crisscrossing over the back of the pelvis and up to that left side of the skull. See if you can even turn your head to look up and get into that spiral line a little bit more. Take one more breath. And then we unwind, hands come down. Lift the back knee, step back. So we're going to go ahead and flow, and you can choose again how you're going to lower. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale to lower down. And choose your back bend of up dog or cobra. Extending through the feet. And exhaling back. Downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths in down dog. Really lengthening through the spine. And grounding through hands and feet. Next, inhale, 3-legged dog, left foot leads. And exhale, step it up between your hands. Dropping the back knee and inhale to reach up in our low lunge again. Lifting the heart, opening the front body. And then as we exhale, bringing the left hand to the knee, lengthen up through that right, side bend over to the left. And lifting through that side body. If you wish, you can look up to the ceiling. And imagine that line from that front arch of the left foot. Wrapping around all the way to the base of that right side of your skull. One more breath here. We come back to center. Both hands to your heart center. We're moving into our twist. Come forward and twist to your left this time. Rotating from the belly. Lifted through that left arch. Feel that spiral inside your body, like the spiral of a vine. One more time, one more breath. And then exhale, unwind. Lift the back knee, step forward on an exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow down, and inhale to rise. Coming all the way up, and hands through heart center. And release. Just take a breath or two in mountain pose. I don't know about you guys, but I always find it hard to imagine lifting my arches when I'm standing. To me, it's like wiggling your ears. But I can think about it. Let's inhale and reach up to the sky. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back down dog. So we're going to warm the body a little bit and get into that side body. Come down to your forearms. And you can intertwine your fingers if you wish. And come forward to dolphin plank. So we're going to keep both arms down. And we're going to rotate our toes. Bring your feet close together. We're going to rotate our toes to the right. So we really get into the side body here. So see if you can find those spiral lines within your body in this posture, starting at your arch on the right foot and ending in the left side of the skull. And then see if you can follow the line in the other foot. One more breath. Come back to center. You can either drop your knees and take child's pose before our second side, or walk it up into dolphin, depending how much work you want to do in your shoulders. Take one more breath. And then find your way back into dolphin plank. And this time we're rotating toes over to the left side, keeping both forearms grounded and lifted through both shoulders. Again, see if you can find those spiral lines. And see if you can find them in both feet. And then come back to center. Let's all take child's pose. Give your shoulders a break, and if you want to bring your arms alongside your shins to really rest the shoulders, you can do that, or you can keep arms extended if that's more comfortable for you. Let's have 3 nice breaths here in child's pose. Allowing the heart rate to slow a little here in child's pose. And then when you're ready, find your way into downward facing dog. And then let's inhale, right leg up to the sky in 3-legged dog. Exhale, step that foot up between your hands and stay high on your back toes. We're going to rise into crescent lunge. So rising all the way up, reaching to the sky and staying up on those back toes. Maybe lifting the heart or lifting the gaze, back leg is engaged. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to release the right hand either to the right hip or to the back of that left thigh. And then inhale, left arm up. Exhale, side bend over to the right. And if you wish, you can add a little bit of a twist, looking to the right, turning your torso to the right as well. So we really got these spiral lines going now, as we've got a twist and a side bend happening. Take one more breath. And then we come back to center, reach both arms up. And exhale through heart center. Let's bring the hands down to the mat and step back into downward facing dog for our second side. Inhale, left foot up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it up between your hands. Stay high on the back toes and rise up into your crescent lunge. Take a moment here, finding your balance, lifting the heart. And then we're going to release left hand either to the left hip or the back of the opposite leg as we inhale, reach up. Exhale, side bend to the left. And then you can begin to rotate your gaze, your torso, the belly over to the left. So it's a twist with a side bend. See if you can find the arch of that left foot. Wrap it around, cross it over to the right base of the skull. One more breath. And we release back to center. Hands through your heart center. Hands come down. And let's step it forward this time. Inhaling to lift halfway. Exhale to bow. And inhale to rise up. And draw into the heart center. And release. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift halfway. And as we exhale, let's step left foot to the back of the mat, pivoting it down for Warrior Two. And when you're ready, wind it up into Warrior Two. And we're just going to move through our 3 poses of Warrior Two, Peaceful Warrior, and Side Angle. And we're just going to do that a few times. Just flow through it, get the body moving. So inhale, Peaceful Warrior. Exhale, Side Angle. Nice stretch here. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. And exhale, Warrior Two. And just take a pause here in Warrior Two. Let's do that sequence one more time. Peaceful Warrior on the inhale. Exhale, Side Angle. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. And exhale, Warrior Two. On your next inhale, straighten that front leg for triangle. Inhaling to reach and lengthen through the right side body. Exhale, find your triangle pose. And see if you can look up to the sky here if you feel balanced. And then again, in this pose, let's bring awareness into that right foot, the front foot. The inner arch, see if you can keep it lifted and follow that spiral diagonally all the way up across your back to the left ear as you look up. One more breath. And then use the inhale to come all the way up. Bend the front knee, hands come down, downward facing dog. You can stay in down dog, you can take child's pose, or take a vinyasa and flush that out before we move into our second side. Whatever feels right for your body today. And we're all eventually going to meet in down dog. Take a breath in your down dog. The bottom of your exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhaling to lift halfway. Exhaling, we bow. And inhale, we rise up. And drawing into your heart center. And releasing. Just take a few moments in mountain pose before we move into second side. Maybe even closing your eyes and dropping into that rhythm of your breath, your internal rhythm. Staying in your mountain pose, even with eyes closed, bring your awareness to those inner arches. And see if you can visualize both sides at the same time, wrapping around, crossing over the back of your pelvis diagonally, across your back, up to the base of the skull on opposite sides. And then let's open the eyes and move into second side. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale to bow. Inhale, float the heart up. And exhale, we step right foot back. Pivoting that right foot down, finding warrior two when you've got your footing. And then we're going to move through that same sequence. The inhale takes us into reverse warrior or peaceful warrior. The exhale takes us to side angle. And you can take whatever variation of side angle with elbow to the knee or fingertips to the block or to the floor. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle, whichever variation you're ready for. You're looking up to the sky. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And exhale, warrior two. Your next inhale, straighten that front leg for triangle pose. So inhale to lengthen that left side body as you reach. Exhale, finding your triangle. And then again, if you feel grounded and steady, see if you can look up to the sky and bring awareness to that left arch. Wrap it around in your mind's eye, all the way to the base of the right side of the skull, just behind your ear. See if you can feel those spirals of that connective tissue, that fascia. One more breath. And then let's inhale, come all the way up on your next inhale. Let's turn both toes to the long side of your mat. Take a breath here just for some present moment awareness before we move into our forward fold. You can have hands on your hips or intertwine your fingers behind your back, whichever variation of this pose you would like to take. But start with an inhale to lift the heart, maybe lifting the gaze. Opening the shoulders, exhale, forward fold. Releasing the neck as you fold forward. Can you find those spiral lines from your inner arches in this symmetrical pose? All the way to the base of your skull, behind your ear. One more breath here. Then use your next inhale to lead with the heart and come all the way up as you press strongly into both feet. And once you're all the way up, just take a moment's pause again, checking in with the body and the mind and the energy. And then turn your left toes to the top of the mat. Hands come down and step it back, down dog. Same choice as before, stay in down dog, come into child's pose or flow and flush that out. Let's take 3 breaths in whichever pose you've chosen for your resting pose. And then let's all slowly make our way into downward facing dog. Take one lengthening inhale in your down dog. Use your exhale to step, walk, or float to the top of the mat. The inhale lifts the heart, lengthens the spine. The exhale, we bow, and the inhale, we rise up. Keeping those inner arches lifted as you transition into your mountain pose. So let's grab those blocks and bring them to the top of your mat. And we'll start stepping back with the right foot. So take an inhale and lengthen, and as you exhale, bend the knees, step the right foot back. Not as big of a stance as you would for Warrior Two. We're going to start with pyramid pose. So inhaling, reaching the arms up to the sky, and really lengthen through the torso. And then as we exhale, and I should qualify this. If this feels like too much as we forward fold, your hands, actually let's all do this. Let's bring our hands to our hips to start. Inhale, lengthen the heart up. And as we exhale, keep reaching the heart forward as we fold forward. Little micro bend in the back of that knee. And see if you can bring the torso just parallel to the floor. And then let's see if we can just reach the right arm forward. So right arm in the same plane or the same line as the torso, parallel to the floor. Keep pressing strongly into both feet, lift both arches. And then bringing the right hand to the mat or to your block, which might be inside that front foot, or it might also be outside that front foot. Outside is harder, inside's a little easier. So from here, we're going to begin to draw your hips together and begin to twist towards your left. Keep drawing the hips into your center line. And if you wish, you might reach that left hand up to the sky. You might even look to the sky. And then again, see if you can bring your awareness to both inner arches and follow that spiral in this twist. Keep pressing strongly into both feet. One more breath. And then release the left hand down, bend the front knee, and step it forward into your forward fold. Release the head down, bend your knees a little bit. Actually, let's walk our feet wide. I always find that revolved triangle difficult. Let's bend the knees and come into Malasana. Release those outer hips a bit. Hands can come inside. You can also put a block under your sit bones if you need to. Now, I don't know if you guys want to play with crow pose, but you can also bring your hands down and play with crow before we move into second side. That's like my worst arm balance, so you guys play if you wish. And then whenever you're ready, if you're not in crow, you can just bring the hands down and lift the sit bones to the sky. Ben, you can come and meet us in forward fold whenever you're ready, or hold crow for longer. And just release through all that. Inhale, the heart lifts, lengthen. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, press into both feet, lift those arches and come all the way up. Draw into your heart. And release. So before we do second side, close your eyes and just take a moment to see if you can feel those spiral lines within your body after that intense twisting pose. Am I the only one who finds that pose intense? No? God, that one kills me. Let's step the left foot back. So take an inhale, lift the heart, hands to your hips. Exhale, bend the knees, left foot steps back. So front leg is straight. Find that inner arch and try to lift through that inner arch all the way to that back pelvis. Let's reach both arms up to the sky and lengthen up. Oh yeah, I said we were going to do this with hands on hips. Release your hands to your hips. We just needed a stretch. Take an inhale, lift the heart higher, lengthen the spine, and keep lengthening, reaching the heart forward. Tiny micro bend in that front knee. Shoulders away from your ears. And then if it's okay, extend that left arm straight out in front of you, and same plane as the torso, keep reaching. Take one more inhale to lengthen. And then release that left hand either to the outside of that front foot or to your block inside. And begin twisting to your right. Keep scissoring the hips, drawing the right hip back, the left hip forward, drawing into your midline. Maybe reaching the right arm up and maybe looking up. And then see if you can find those spiral lines here. Twisting to the right and up to the ceiling with the belly. Take one more breath. And then look to your front foot, release the right hand down. Bend the front knee, step it back. Downward facing dog. Take child's pose if you wish, or take a flow and flash that all out. Stay connected with your breath, that inner rhythm. And then let's all meet in downward facing dog. Take a nice cleansing breath here. Bottom of your exhale, let's step, walk, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, float the heart up. Exhale, draw the belly in as we fold. And inhale to rise all the way up. And draw into the heart. Take a breath here. And then we're going to step back with our right foot again. So stepping to the back of your mat. And actually coming into up on the back toes like you're coming into a crescent lunge. Front knee is bent. Hands to your heart center. We're going to come into warrior three. So just shifting the weight forward, finding your warrior three position. And if you wish, you can bring your arms wide out to the side, palms facing down. And then slowly going to bring hands to your blocks or to the mat. And make sure that you rotate the center of that right thigh and the toes down to the floor. We're moving into revolved half moon. So left hip draws to center. Lengthening through your spine, and we begin to twist to your left. Another really tough pose for me. So hand can stay on your hip, or it can reach up to the sky. You choose what's most appropriate. If you're feeling really stable in this, you can even rotate your head up to the sky and really get into those spiral lines here. Or at least, at the very least, out to the side. Take one more breath here. And then let's simply release that right foot to meet the left, coming into forward fold. Let's come back into Malasana. Forgot to do Malasana after our other triangle pose. And again, if you want to play with crow from Malasana, you can do that too. Or just get some release in the hips here before we move into our second side. Actually, let's come into a little twist in our Malasana. Bring your right hand down to the mat. Reach your left hand up to the sky. And you can look up to the left, up to the sky as well. And then bring that hand down. Let's switch it up. Left hand comes down. Right hand reaches up as we twist right. And release that down. Both hands come down. We lift the sit bones to the sky. Forward fold. You walk your feet in a little bit. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, we rise up. And draw into the heart center. And release. So let's go ahead and step left foot back, coming high up on the toes like a crescent lunge. Hands to heart center, shifting forward for warrior three. Have your blocks handy as we shift, into our second side shortly. You can have hands out to the side in your warrior three if you wish. And then hands down to your blocks or your mat. So we're moving into revolved half moon. So center of your left thigh and toes pointing down towards the earth. Right hip, drawn in as we begin to twist to our right. Starting at the belly. And seeing if you can find those spiral lines in this twist. See if you can stay with your breath. One more round. And then let that back foot meet your standing foot, come into your forward fold. You can either stay in forward fold or come back into Malasana if you wish. So from Malasana, we're going to meet in either downward facing dog, or if you want to get fancy, come into crow pose. You can probably do this, Ben. From crow pose, can you kick it back into plank? Or
Oh, I've never tried.
yeah, well, let's try. I'm not doing it, but you might. So find your crow. And then you kick it back into plank or chaturanga. There you go. I can't do it. It hurts my sacrum too much. Let's go ahead and take one last flow before we wind it down to some seated poses. And moving through your back bend. And let's actually exhale down. I forgot I wanted to bring you into bow pose or Salabhasana before we wind it down. So either Salabhasana, reaching hands back and floating the legs up, or bending the knees and coming into bow. You choose which one you want to take today. Taking one more breath here. And then releasing, letting the forehead rest on the back of the hands or turning your head to one side. Breathe into the belly. And whenever you're ready, you can press back into child's pose. And release through the back a little bit more as we begin to wind it down. And then making your way to seated. Now let's extend both legs out in front. Shake it out. We'll wait for the other half of our class to return. You just ran around the corner. Since half the class was missing, we thought we'd wait for you. Let's just come into, which twist do I want to do? I'm kind of feeling like this one, which I don't remember the name of. So right leg down, feet out to your left. Top leg, shin is resting in the arch of the bottom foot, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of leaning on my right hip. And feet are out to the left. Mostly. The left one wants to lift a little bit just because of the nature of how the skeletal structure is, but they're both relatively down. And so we are twisting towards our right side. So the knees are out to the right. We're twisting towards our right. So right hand can come out behind you. Your left hand can just rest on that front knee, the right knee. Or you can tuck the fingers underneath, which really opens up through here a little bit more, but just take whatever is appropriate. And then we're twisting to your right. And you can initially start by looking over that right shoulder. Nice tall spine. And then keep the body posture where it is and turn your gaze over the left shoulder or your front shoulder. So the body doesn't change, just the gaze changes to the front shoulder. And then once you're gazing over that front shoulder, you can begin to lean back a little bit. So again, it's that twist with a little bit of a back bend, really opening through the front of the body and that side neck area. So I don't know about you, but it's hard with your mind's eye to try to follow that spiral line in this pose. But try if you can. One more breath. And come back upright. Unwind both hands to the front knees. And just pause here nice and tall. And then we're going to bring the feet over to the other side. Actually, let's bring the feet in front and just do a little windshield washer before we move to the second side. And then knees over, left knee is the bottom this time. Right shin in the arch of the left foot. So it's really easy to find the arch in this pose because you got your top shin resting in it. But following that spiral gets a little more difficult. So we're twisting to our left, so left hand can come out behind. Right hand to the opposite knee, or tucking the fingers underneath. And then twisting, leading with the belly, letting your gaze become or move to over the back shoulder or your left shoulder to start. And then keeping the body in the twist and simply moving your gaze over the front shoulder or your right shoulder. And then from there, maybe lifting through the chin and opening the front body just a little bit more. Taking one more breath here. And then release the back bend, release the twist, both hands come to the front knees. Sit up nice and tall here for a breath. And then both feet, soles of the feet come down to the outside edges of your mat and just the windshield washer from side to side to release any tension in the pelvis, side body, hips. And then we're going to come down onto our back. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. So just for fun, this has nothing to do with spiral, but we're going to come into bridge pose. Our twists really move things around a lot in our endocrine system and our lymphatic system. So bridge pose, whenever you're ready, you can inhale the hips up and take whatever arm variation you feel that you would like to take today. Bridge pose is really great for drawing all that lymphatic fluid into the central chest, lymph glands, and balancing out the endocrine system. So we're going to stay for 5 breaths if you're able in your bridge pose. And staying connected with your inner rhythm of that breath for these 5 breaths, that ujjayi breath. At the end of your 5th breath, whenever you get there, you slowly lower the hips down. Take a pause here, and then either reach the feet up to the sky as though you're in legs up the wall, or come into shoulder stand if that is in your practice and available to you today. And just further that inversion a little bit here. And either one is appropriate. And again, 5 breaths here. Nice, slow, rhythmic breaths, finding that inner rhythm. Whenever you're ready, taking pause. We're going to do one final supine twist before we move into Shavasana. So just taking a moment's pause before we move into that with both feet grounded, finding your breath. And breathe into all the corners and crevices of your inner being. And then arms straight out to the side. And just a little windshield washing from side to side. Letting your head roll opposite your knees slowly with your breath at your own pace. And try to do about 3 times to each side before we move into our final Shavasana. And moving in at your own pace, finding whatever you need, a covering or a sweater for your Shavasana. Find your way there. And as you find your Shavasana, take a moment to pause and self-reflect and settle into that inner rhythm as you let the thoughts pour out and allowing yourself space to breathe deep, to cool down and to soften. Very slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bringing your awareness back to the inner rhythm of the in-breath and the out-breath. And begin to bring some movement into the hands and the toes, eventually finding your way into fetal position when you feel ready. And then when you're ready, pressing into that left hand and rising up to a seat. Eyes closed, hands can be resting on your knees or your thighs, bringing your index finger and your thumb to touch. Palms can be facing up or down. Up to receive and down to ground, whichever you choose. Taking a moment to come back to your intention of how you wish to feel today. And then dropping awareness of the breath down into the belly. Exhale, letting the physical body settle. Inhale awareness down into the belly and into the foundation of your body, resting on the solid surface beneath you. Exhale, let the mind settle. Inhale down into the belly, into your foundation, all the way down into the earth. And as you exhale, feel your energy, your thoughts, and your physical body. Find that place of calm and peace. And see if you can stay connected to that for the next few breaths. And then take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth as you bring your hands to your heart center. And we'll inhale to Om one time. Om. And then let your eyes flutter open, coming back to the space. Namaste. Namaste.